just got home from school. I'm about to finish raising Hare and I have thoughts, and I thought I've got to get them out now even though I'm so sweaty. I'm really enjoying raising Hare, and it's giving me food for thought. A lot of the talk that I've heard around this book is talking about how it's not the recommended choice to pick a hare out from the wild and look after it. In this case, where she came upon the hare, and she did leave it at first, but she came back a few hours later and the baby hare, the leveret, was still there, you know, looking like it was about to die, and that the mother hare was not able to look after it. I think that's the right choice, or at least I think it's an admirable choice. Maybe I'm gonna look into this and maybe not even put this in the video if you realise that I'm completely wrong, but I just think that we should be, I think it's an admirable thing to do, to take a hare in and look after it if it looks like all the odds are stacked that it's gonna die.
Editing Sarah here. I was gonna try and take that out, but then I realised the video didn't make sense without it. I'm just gonna add that, so Chloe Dalton, when she took this hare in, and she does say this in the book, that when she gets in contact with the vets and when she asks for advice, they do tell her like it's not a good idea to take hares from the wild. They don't usually survive. It's normal for the mothers to leave and come back, and if you tamper with the hare, then that can sever that connection. So Chloe Dalton was very lucky that it worked out and that she could save the leveret, and the leveret could go on to live a successful life and thrive. Like, that was a case of luck. And so the problem, I guess, is if this book encourages people to take wild animals, even though that's not its intention, even though it does go into why it's a bad idea in the book, if the outcome is that it is encouraging people to take animals out of the wild, that would be a really negative outcome, because usually it is better to leave animals in the wild and assume that the mother hare is going to come back, because it's very normal for hares to leave their leverets. So I guess like that's more the concern, I think, than what is actually said in the book.
Yeah, so reading the book, I really like the contrast of the author's life before the pandemic, and how, you know, she's always traveling. She never has concrete plans because of her work. She always has to be available to go if she's called at work. And then lockdown happens, so she's at home and she comes upon this hare and it changes her life. And so whereas before she was always away, the hare grounds her to her home and opens up this new world to her of the countryside and the nature, and she notices things that she didn't notice before, and I loved the writing of that. Yeah, and then when she talks about the dangers that wild animals have to face because of human farming, she talks about how many animals are killed during the process of harvesting, and yeah, that really gave me food for thought, because obviously if you've seen my other videos, I'm like aiming towards being a vegan someday, and I am aware that being a vegan is not 100% cruelty-free diet. I know that already, but it is lowering the harm, because you decide that you're not going to support factory farming. So yeah, so you're lowering the amount of harm that you're going to do. And when she was talking about the animals that get killed in like it was harvesting of potatoes, so you know, a vegan food, part of me was a bit frustrated, and I kind of was examining that, because part of me was like, oh, I wonder if this author is vegan. Like, because she's built this emotional link to the hare, she's very protective of it, and even over other wild animals who the hare is their prey, is what they eat to survive. And she notices that she says that like it's not fair to prioritize one wild animal over another, but also, you know, as is very relatable, that she's got this emotional connection now to the hare, so she wants them to survive and to thrive. Yeah, so a part of me was thinking like, okay, so you're like looking out for these hares now, and you're like, the machinery is often fatal. There's a scene where she's, after the ploughing of the fields has happened, she goes through the field and sees and lists the dead animals that she finds, and it's really sad. And so it made me wonder, are you also aware of how brutal and horrific factory farming is, which is, you know, like billions of animals a year that are in the system, that are dying, that are under awful conditions. Are you also aware of that? And there was like, that thought came to my mind, and then I thought, well, you're a hypocrite. Are you a hypocrite? I'm not sure if you're a hypocrite. So I don't know what your diet is. But there was that thought, and then I thought, well, I'm not even vegan right now. And I'm still, you know, taking this space to talk about the issues that are happening, even though, like, you could call me a hypocrite because I am eating animal products. But like, we've all got to start somewhere. We're all born into a situation and we are molded into that. We are raised into that, and then there's a point that comes where we can question it, where we can go, okay. And like someone that's like you read, like for me it was Earthing Ed. It was Earthing Ed's debates that like brought my attention to what is happening in factory farming and how undefendable it is. It's indefensible. When someone brings that to your attention, then it's like, well, what do I do with this information? And for me, yes, I want to become vegan. I want more people to become vegan because I want less beings to suffer. So that is to say that regardless of whether Chloe Dalton is vegan or vegetarian or anything, I think it's still worthy to talk about not just the suffering of factory farmed animals, but also of wild animals, which kind of brings me back to, I used to think it's the suffering of animals that humans cause that I'm most concerned about. But here, at the start of the book, it's not that she caused the leverage suffering. So maybe some people would say, like, you've got to leave nature to its course, right? But I think even if humans haven't caused it, it's still worthy to save the suffering of an animal. Now this is completely talking in hypotheticals, but if, say, we could make every animal vegetarian, vegan, like that would alleviate so much suffering of wild animals. But it would be completely getting involved in the ecology of course. So I guess I'm thinking about, like, is there value to an ecosystem just because it's how nature has designed it? We don't think that way when it comes to humans. We have medicine, and we've invented all sorts of ways to make our lives easier and more comfortable and to have there be less suffering. So if we could do it for animals too, then shouldn't we? Is there an imperative to? That's what I'm thinking about as a complete non-expert in anything. Lots of thoughts from this book. I really enjoyed it. I would recommend it if you're thinking about similar things to what I'm thinking about, or if you just like nice writing. Just got home from school again, so I guess it's my habit to finish a book and just hop straight on camera. Pumpkin Spice Cafe, I've just finished. It was fine. It was fine. At the beginning I was like, oh, I really like this. Yep, this is perfect. This is seasonal. I'm vibing. It's actually lightning right now, so if the lightning's weird, maybe I'll have to reshoot this, but just to let you know. Yeah, so at first I was feeling good about it, but then I was kind of feeling like it is what it portrays itself to be. Like, it's a Hallmark movie book. It has some spice. It's fine. It's fine. I was actually, so in Pumpkin Spice Cafe, it's kind of your typical like farming sim video game, except the farmer is your love interest. We have Jeannie, who's just moved into her aunt's cafe. She's taking over the cafe, and there's a hot, sexy farmer. The book's words. And she's finding her new life. You know, she's had a bad time back in the city. I liked it to begin with, and then I got to thinking, like, a whole book of this maybe isn't for me. I want to say it is, but there was something lacking. Maybe the connection between the two lovers is like they find each other hot and they're both nice people. and that's it. That's your lot. I actually kind of related more to the person who left. There's somebody who left the love interest, and he's all in his head about that, and like, oh, what if this one leaves too? And I found myself relating more to the character that left than anyone in the story, which is bad, because I read it and I want the small town romance and I crave that community feeling, but also I'm relating more to the person who's like, I don't know if this is for me. She's not in the book, she's just spoken about a lot, and like, oh yeah, what a terrible person. Oh, is it so bad? Is it so bad to not know what you want? And it left me feeling some feelings about my own life. It's more than me than the book. I mean, the book does what it says on the tin, I think. To be fair, this is my first foray into this kind of like mass market romance, so I hope that there are better examples. I really hope so, because like there's stuff that I like about it. I like the escapism. I like to be in a group of friends, and you know, I like that the simple life. I like it, but also there's got to be something more to it that really is like, yeah, actually I would want to stay here. I would want to commit to this group. There just wasn't that extra bit that would make me want to do that, I think. And that's why it's a meh from me. I also read Maybe You Should Talk to Someone in the autumn this year, and I thought that I would talk about it, even though I didn't video my reactions as I was reading it, but I liked it a lot, so I wanted to talk about it. So Maybe You Should Talk to Someone is a memoir by a therapist about being a therapist. She talks about some of her clients' stories, and she also talks about her own story and her own therapy journey. I picked up this book. I mean, this book was in my library app, so it definitely appealed to me because I'm in therapy. I get a lot out of being in therapy. I also love reading books about people's jobs, and at the moment I'm trying to figure out what to do with my career. I'm on a career break, which I'm super lucky to be able to do, and so I think getting a little peek into people's jobs, I really like to read about that. Another book, just side note, another book I read in this kind of vein was The Language of Kindness, which is about a nurse and her story nursing in the UK. Really enjoyed that, so it's like on a similar vein to this. This therapist maybe is a little less relatable, I guess, just because she is someone who used to work in the entertainment industry, and there's passages in the book where she's talking about like being on the set of Friends, so it was also an insight into that, and she has some interesting stories, and her transition from being in that career to deciding to become a therapist, she talks about that, so you get a little bit more, I guess, bang for your buck if you're reading it for the same kind of reasons that I picked it up. So some of the kinds of stories that she covers in the book, one of her clients is the kind of person who is very misanthropic, like really hates everyone, calls everyone an idiot. Why is everyone such an idiot? And another patient of hers, client, is someone with terminal cancer, and another one is somebody who didn't protect her children from the violence of their father, and her children no longer talk to her, so her process of that. And then the author also talks about her story of a breakup, her boyfriend who breaks up with her because she has a child and he does not want to live with a child, and her complete bewilderment. You know, it's not like she hid that she had a child the whole time that they were together. He knew that she had a child, so the pain of that and how she worked through that with her own therapist. And the book has these parallels of frustrations that she may have with her own clients, and then not realizing that she is prone to the same kind of malfunctions or miscalculations in her own thinking about her own life. And so it was interesting to see that therapists aren't people who have it all figured out. They're highly trained to be able to help you through problems, but they don't necessarily have it all figured out for themselves. Like being able to comfort yourself through your own pain and to guide yourself through your own pain is a different job, right, than being able to guide somebody else. I guess in that way it demystified therapy a little bit for me. It's a look behind the curtain, right? And yeah, like becoming a psychotherapist is definitely something I would consider, because I think it's such an important job, and because I've benefited so much from having a therapist. And I think that mental health is something that is under-resourced. I really loved it. I couldn't put it down. It was a really great comfort to me. Will you ever see me anywhere apart from this room? Who can say? I can't believe I'm in Japan, and you get nothing. Maybe I'll put some B-roll here. But the thing is, I'm awful at taking B-roll because I'm just using my phone. This is just me on my phone right here, right now. So anyway, Kind of Spark, loved it. One of the best books of the year. Crying the whole way through. Crying. struggling to hold myself together. So Addie is an autistic girl. She's 11 years old, and she learns about the witch trials in Scotland, where she's from and where she lives, and it really touches her, and she goes on a quest to get a memorial put up in her local village. And the story is about the fight to do that, why it's so important to her, and how women were treated back during the witch trials kind of reflects how autistic people and people with disabilities can still be treated today, and how she feels and how her peers who are also autistic have been treated. I really related to, as a kid, hearing just horrible stories and people either like laughing or like being... I remember growing up learning about Bible stories and being like, this is awful, and why are we using this as an example to live by? Because this is really freaking me out right now that everybody is pretending this is normal. It kind of reminded me of that. It's an excellent book. It's going to be one of my favourite of the year. I want to read more in the series, and I think it's the same author has adult romances. Maybe, and I'm excited to read those. Like, maybe I'm gonna find my perfect romance. I don't have a good track record. Like, I feel like I come onto BookTube and I'm like, I don't like this, I don't like that, I don't like that. For example, fantasy, I struggle with really poetic writing, but I haven't spoken a lot about what I do love, so I'm so excited to get an opportunity to talk about a book that I love and potentially a new favourite author. I don't know, I've only read one book by this author, but I'm just getting that vibe. That's how excited I am about that. Maybe my thing is children's literature. Is that my thing? Because I feel like all my favourite books are children's books. If so, I'm cool with that. It's nice to learn about myself as a reader. Yeah, I'm having a great time. Also, I'm not sure if my witchy video, when that's coming out, but yeah, this is not a fantasy book. It's talking about like historically what actually happened during the Scottish witch trials in a kind of spark. But yeah, I guess is it going to put me in the same space to read like fantasy witchy books? I'm not sure. Or is it going to further entrench me in like, I only like contemporary, I don't like fantasy? I am trying really hard to find fantasy that I like. Wish me luck. That's the end of this vlog. Thank you for watching this far. Please leave a comment if you feel like it. My audience is small, so I can talk to everyone in the comments and get to know you. That would be really lovely. See you in the next one. Bye.